All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. As I start, I recognize the mistake I've already made. I forgot my phone because I'm going to take some calls here. But when I get done with the presentation, there'll be a quick 30-second break while I grab the phone, and you guys will be able to call in. And as I'm going, I'm like, man, there's mistake number 2. I got the wrong number on the screen. So let me also get up the right phone number and try to look like we're competent here. Okay, so that'll be the number to call in. Should update right before your eyes, 509-560-4982. Do a quick presentation, then we'll take some calls. Looking for the hockey fans who know a thing or two about the NHL. So, it's reported that last night, Thursday, Wayne Gretzky's father died at age 82. And we'll come up on the significance of that age of death, but I just want to start right here. Wayne Gretzky has that January 26th birthday. We talked about this last year on January 6, 2020, because Wayne Gretzky, the hockey great who did play part of his career in LA, last year on his birthday, Kobe Bryant died on his 59th birthday. And remember, Black Mamba equals 59 in Gematria. This year he turned 60. And from his birthday to his father's death on March 4th was his 38th day of his age. And of course, death equals 38, as does murder, as does killing, as does RIP. This past weekend, I said to watch out for the pattern of people who had big accomplishments in their career in 83 and deaths in 2021, 38 years later. Just the other day, the manager of the Orioles, who won the World Series in 83, died. And notice, Wayne Gretzky won his first Stanley Cup in the 83-84 season. So from 83 to 2021 is 38 years later. In case you're new here, there's always somebody who's new. There's a movie and a song to know out there. The movie is called Murder by Numbers. And you can see in the letters, the E's changed to the 3, the B's changed to the 8, 3, 8, 8, 3. And you can see right around the letters, there's an orange 7 and an orange 9, so 7, 9, 3, 8, 8, 3. In Gematria, notice that murder equates to 79, 34, he died on March 4th, 3-4, and 8, 3, and 38. And again, Wayne Gretzky's first Stanley Cup winning season began in 83, 2021 marks 38 years later. So the way these 4 ciphers work, murder equals 79 when you just use the alphabetic order. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5. You just add up the letters as numbers. It equals 34 when you use the alphabetic order and rules numerology. So M is still the 13th letter, but in the blue cipher, instead of M being 13, you just take the numerology of 13, which is 1 plus 3 is 4. U, the 21st letter, becomes 2 plus 1 is 3. So M would be 4, U would be 3, R would be 9 because R is the 18th letter, 1 plus 8 is 9. D would be 4 because it's the 4th letter, E the 5th because it's the 5th, R would be 9 again. So very simple, just basic arithmetic. And then murder is 83 when you just run the alphabetic order in reverse. Z is 1 back to A is 26. And it's 38 when you use the reverse alphabetic order with the rules numerology. Now, what's considered the most pure out of these 4 ciphers is the blue one, where murder's 34, like how he died on 3-4, but all 4 ciphers are important. In that most pure cipher, Wayne Gretzky also equals 63, and March 4th is the 63rd day of the Gregorian calendar year. And again, if you're new here, the language and the calendar come from the same place, the Catholics and the Jesuit order, which we'll touch on in just a second. Keep in mind, NHL is also 34, considered the greatest player of NHL history, losing his father on 3-4. And again, murder's 34, 38, dead on 3-4 on Wayne Gretzky's 38th day of his age. Notice the father's name, Walter Gretzky, also has gematria of 191, like Society of Jesus. Those are the Jesuits who gave us the language, who gave us the calendar. 191 is the 43rd prime. The date March 4th can also be written 4/3, like 43. Keep in mind, Jesus Christ is also 43, just the way this comes together with the Society of Jesus. But a fitting date for Walter Gretzky to pass in connection with his son. And keep in mind, this year is the year of the 56-game season. If you're new here, check out my book. Go to my Patreon page, patreon.com/Zachary K. Hubbard. Scroll back to December 24th, download my ebook, Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus. You will see how important this number 56 has been to all of the coronavirus rituals. And of course, he's died during the NHL season that's limited to 56 games because of coronavirus. And again, coronavirus, COVID vaccine, Anthony Fauci, Washington, D.C., Society of Jesus, they're all 56. And the list goes well beyond that. It's been a lot of 56 rituals. NBA Bubble 56, you know what they did for the NBA last year. Notice Wayne Gretzky's name also has the 144 and 54 in it, like Jesuit order. Again, that's the same as the Society of Jesus. They're the same thing. All these numbers they use ritualistically. Tiger Woods equals 54, forwards and backwards on the 54th day of the year. Supposedly he was in a bad car accident, which was also his 56th day of his age. Again, all of these major entertainers are Jesuit puppets, every last one of them. And it's not an accident that people like Wayne Gretzky are born with the right name, Gematria. It's all ritual. These people are part of the network. And if you look into Wayne Gretzky's NHL career, it began in 78. And now his father's dead in 21. His career lasted from 78 to 99 as well. 78 to 99, of course, he wore the number 99. But that's 21 years. Jesuits got the 21. His father's dead in 2021. Jesuits 78. And then, we've been talking about this a lot in recent days. Thursday in 99. I mean, we just went into great detail again on Wednesday night about Thursday in 99. Thursday is named after Jupiter. Jupiter's the 99 planet. What day did Wayne Gretzky's father die? On Thursday, March 4th. What number did Wayne Gretzky wear? 99. What year did his career end? 99. Again, you guys, it's not hard to see what's going on here. Perfect rituals. And TMZ chose this January 31st picture, 131. See, this is where I wish I knew more about hockey. Hockey's the sport I know the least about. Well, that and NASCAR. I can't really call NASCAR a sport. I know people consider it a sport. Driving is hard, but anyway, I don't know a lot about hockey or NASCAR. I know how to play street hockey, but anyhow, 131 is a big championship number. So there is a huge championship clue in this riddle, and if I knew more about hockey, I'd probably be able to solve it. So that's where I'm going to go out to the callers and see if our hockey enthusiasts have a clue. But the Gretzky family is from Ontario, Canada, and notice it's got the gematria of 82. 82. Now remember the word game equals 82. The NBA and the NHL, which are about on the same timeline, they both have 82-game regular seasons, typically. Not in the coronavirus season, but typically they have the 82-game season. Wayne Gretzky, again, on his 59th birthday, and that most simple cipher, Black Mamba's 59. On his 59th birthday, the Black Mamba died. And now, a year later, his father's dead at 82. And again, Bryant's got the 82 game. Both LA sports stars. And so they got a all-star jersey up there, a Los Angeles Kings jersey. Story about how the memorabilia was stolen last year, but they recovered some. I noticed his Edmonton Oilers right now that he played for. Let me go to the standings. I noticed they have 25 games played right now, and they're 14-11. Where are they at? Right there. They're 14-11 with 25 games played. I find that interesting because that's his first team. And Death's got the gematria of 25, and Dead's got the gematria of 14. So while their record's that, the father of Wayne Gretzky's gone. And just to go over a few other recent hockey deaths, Ralph Backstrom, who won 6 Stanley Cups, was dead in the news the day of Super Bowl 55 when Brady was still on his 6 championships before he increased the lead to 6-7. He went from 6-7 by beating Kansas City, who's got the 67 connection. A year earlier, Kansas City 122, just like San Francisco's 122, like National Football League's 122. A year earlier, Kansas City beat San Francisco in Andy Reid's 122nd career game. Again, all of these numbers are used interchangeably across the world of rigged sports. You learn the code, you see through the rituals. If you know enough about the sports, you can figure out the championships well before they happen, just like how we had Bucks over Chiefs before the NFL season even began. We know a lot about the NFL over here. We don't know much about the NHL. But, again, this Ralph Backstrom, dead in the news at 83, right? 83. We just talked about this with Murder. The song Murder by Numbers came out in 83 by The Police. About how killing's the sport of the elite. It's as simple as ABC 1, 2, 3. But notice Ralph's got the 55 as well, right? The day of Super Bowl 55. There were a lot of celebrities killed who had the 55 connection. Ralph Backstrom had that 22186 connection. Remember, blood sacrifice and human sacrifice are 86, like 86 means to get rid of, but it also had that connection to the greatest of all time. And for people who missed out on the free clue I put out for the Super Bowl, if you leave off the and just write greatest of all time, it's 188. And if you just write out GOAT, the acronym, it's 43. Super Bowl 55 was 188 days after Brady's 43rd birthday for the greatest of all time ritual for the Manchurian that the NFL's been scripted around. One of the biggest jokes in sports history. And that's why I'm sure people will get offended if I said Wayne Gretzky's probably not as good as he's made out to be since he plays in the world of rigged sports. Just like Brady. Because, again, people will get mad and say, hockey's not rigged. Okay, you guys, we kill regular season hockey, even though I don't know anything about hockey. I haven't been decoding this year because I've been working on a book, but we've murdered hockey. It's all rigged the same way, you guys. And for all of you who don't think this sport's rigged, explain to me how Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay and then the Lightning win the Stanley Cup on the... We said what day they would win it. We picked out that day for them to win it 44 days after Lightning set the Bay Area on fire where Brady's from. Because they did. They won the Stanley Cup 44 days after the August 15th fires, and the reason we said it would happen 44 days is because Lightning is 44. It's also 55, like how it was synced up with Super Bowl 55. But, again, Brady goes to Tampa. The Tampa Lightning win the Stanley Cup. The Tampa Rays make it to the World Series. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers win the Super Bowl. It's all scripted together, you guys, and you're only, cheating yourself if you want to keep playing dumb and acting like these games aren't rigged. You can rig any sports game, any period, and they are. So anyway, Ralph Backstrom from the NHL dead at 83. Let us not forget that football's 83 and Brady's birthday's 83. And let's not forget Vincent Jackson, whose name is 83, was found dead at age 38 after the Bucks won the Super Bowl on the 38th day of the year, and he was found dead in Brandon, Florida, which is another 83. But this Ralph, dead with his 6 Stanley Cup championships while Brady was still on his 6th just hours before he won his 7th. And I got it right up here. Football 83. This man died in Colorado as well. Colorado's the 38th state in order of statehood. Colorado's 83 and 38 like murder. That Chris Watts story is all 38 and 83. Oh, I even got part of it up here. Watts 83. In Colorado, known for suspicious deaths. That Vincent Jackson who just died, he's from Colorado as well, dead in Florida. And died in Windsor, Colorado. Isn't there a Windsor, Ontario too? Windsor, Ontario, isn't that a place? Yeah, there is. And it's right from across the way from Detroit. Okay, that's interesting. I don't know if that's a clue. But another big death. This man died on the day of the conference championships in the NFL. 90-year-old former Toronto Maple Leaf. He led Toronto to 4 Stanley Cup titles. Maple Leafs 90, Toronto Maple Leafs 90, dead at 90. No one will question the death of a 90-year-old. He played 21 seasons, dies at the start of 2021. He was from Ontario, Canada as well, just like Wayne Gretzky. Windsor, Ontario, okay. So he died in a skull and bones ritual, and Brady's season had everything to do with skull and bones, and Brady advanced to the Super Bowl on this day, so I'm sure this was also connected. But those were the recent NHL deaths that I've been talking about. There's a gentleman who was on the Patreon page who predicted that this man was going to die. He thought he would die closer to the Stanley Cup, but that gentleman's been in my ear all year about how Toronto's going to win the Stanley Cup this year. And again, Canada has not won the Stanley Cup since 93, which is weird since it's their sport, but Stanley's 93, right? And remember, if you write out Wuhan coronavirus, it's also 93. Like coronavirus alone is 56, the 56-game season. And then the other clue for Canada this year, if they're finally going to end the drought, is that the Canadian teams are only playing each other this year because of the coronavirus. Like they can't cross the border, so Canada's just playing Canada. There's 7 teams in that Canadian group that are playing each other. And they're calling it the Group of 7. And think about how big 7 has been in sports this year. Nick Saban won his 7th championship. Tom Brady won his 7th Super Bowl. The Dodgers at the end of last year won their 7th World Series, and they did that against Tampa. And again, the thing about 7 in the year 21 is when you write out Saturn in the most Pierce cipher, it's 21. Saturn has 7 rings. So Brady got his 7th ring. And remember what else is interesting about that? Saturn's the 6th planet from the sun, and if you add 1 through 6 together, it's 21. 21's the 6th triangular number. So just based on this whole 7 thing and this group of 7 and all these big Canadian hockey stars dying, and now Wayne Gretzky's dad dying, it does seem like a good indicator for Canada in terms of what's coming for the Stanley Cup. It seems that these sacrifices are pointing to Canada. And right now, Toronto are the front runners. They have the best record out of the Canadian teams. Here, I'll just pull it up here. Here's this group of 7 right now. Toronto is 18-5 with 2 overtime losses, so technically 18-7. I suppose they're on 7 total losses. Interesting that they have 38 points as Gretzky's dad dies on his 38th day of his age. I'm going to take a screenshot of this so I don't forget this. I guess I'll just get the whole thing. Just get it all here. Okay, Winnipeg is second place, 15-7, a bit like 157, the 37th prime. And I do believe that I read that the latest the Stanley Cup would finish this year is July 15th. And I think if you write out Stanley Cup, it's 37 as well. Yeah, it is. 157 is the 37th prime. You could also say that Gretzky's dad died 37 days after his birthday, in addition to dying on his 38th day of his age. Either way is correct. And again, Kobe died on the 37-year anniversary of Bear Bryant on the 26th, which was Gretzky's 59th birthday, as we talked about. And Kobe's death was synced up with the Lakers championship. Edmonton is Gretzky's former team, who he started with. Again, they're 14-11. 8-3 away. They're playing better on the road. 8-3. I have to go back and look at that 83-84 season for the Edmonton Oilers. The Montreal Canadiens, again, this gentleman who died right here, this guy was for the Canadiens, Ralph Backstrom, dead at 83. My one problem with the NHL right now is I can't find the hard date on when the Stanley Cup starts. I don't find that information online. So I need things like that to decode properly, but I know all these things are clues. For the person who knows enough about the NHL, Calgary Flames are even 11-11. Vancouver Canucks, I don't think they've done well since they had those. Who did they lose to in the Stanley Cup the other year? And then they had the rioting up there. It wasn't the other year. It was like over a decade ago now. Feels like it was the other year. But and then the Ottawa Senators, not doing so well. And again, for any Canadians who are tuned in, more important things to know. You guys remember last year, the April 19th, 2020 Canada shooting, where the guy was driving around a police car, but they said he wasn't a real police officer. And then they took away your assault weapons. There was an assault weapons ban. April 19th, look at this. April 19th is the day, leaving 256 days left in the year, right? Now, in U.S. history, on September 13th, which is the 256th day of the year, see this? September 13th, the 256th day of the year. April 19th, the day leaving 256 days left in the year. In history, for the U.S., that was the day of the assault weapons ban, and you guys had an assault weapons ban after your shooting last year, and you see how assault weapons ban is 256? You see that? And the U.S., the September 13th really fit in because it was gun control, and gun control's 139, like 13/9, like Tupac Shakur was killed on that day due to gun violence. But just realize this stuff goes beyond sports. Again, the same Jesuits who control your sports leagues, they control your news, they control your government, and they do it all by the code. Every single day, mocking every inch of your existence. A guy driving around in a police car, but he wasn't a police officer even though he had a Mounties uniform on. You know what I mean? So just realize, you think this is all a joke? The joke's on you, and you're just another short bus rider. So anyway, sit tight. I'm going to grab the phone. I will start taking calls. I want to hear your thoughts. If you have any additional information about the death of Wayne Gretzky's father, or if you have any insights into these upcoming playoffs, if you got a big clue about the Stanley Cup, I could do some more homework, but I got to admit I'm being a bit lazy because I'm trying to write and finish a book right now and keep up with everything else. So sit tight. I'll be right back with my phone. 1 second. All right, I'm back. Let me just get the phone off the... do not disturb mode here. Okay. We're in business. So if you guys want to call in, it is the number on the screen, 509-560-4982. And, I will check in with the chat while we wait on these first calls. Cade just texted and said, Israel Adesanya weighed in at 201 pounds today. They used him for the big 9/11 joke last year in 2020. All right, what's up, caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
What's up, man? Yeah, it's going all right.
Hey,
what's up?
First of all, just want to say, love the show. Great work. You're doing some great shit here, man.
Thank you.
I have a question, though. You often talk about the Jesuits sort of creating this number system. Where did, like, the Phoenicians come into your analysis of this? Because they were the ones that sort of developed the system that sort of turned into English.
Sure.
Alphabet.
Sure. Language goes. Again, the Jesuits are just carrying on what came before them, but I mean, they're the ones that put it into the English language and the calendar system we're on. But all this stuff goes way back. It goes back to Babylon and Sumer and all that, so.
Yeah. Okay. Also, I was thinking, you were talking about the Tiger stuff last year, right, with the Tiger King?
Right.
And then we have this thing with Tiger Woods.
Right.
And then it was always just about, his legs, broken both legs. And then that sort of triggered this thing in my mind about Kendrick Lamar. He has that song, King Kunta, where it says, everyone's trying to cut the legs off King Kunta. I don't know. Just came to my mind when you were talking about this stuff, and then the thing with Tiger.
Sure.
Just something that I'd be interested in to hear your thoughts on.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, it is all a big puzzle. You just got to put the pieces together, right? So I'll have to think more about those observations. You had some observations there I wasn't aware of, so appreciate it, man. Thank you. You have a good one.
No problem.
See you. What's up, caller?
Hey, Zach, how you doing?
Doing all right. What's up?
So, yeah, I was looking at, about a week or so ago about Maple Leafs in Gematria equals 54. And it's been 54 years since the Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup.
Oh, is that right? So, it's been 54 years since they won it?
1967 was the last time the Maple Leafs
Okay,
won
so
the Stanley Cup.
let's think about that based on what you're telling us here. So Wayne Gretzky's 54, Jesuit Order's 54. When you write out the word sun, S-U-N, it's 54, like the Jesuit logo's the sun, like all this is synced up with the solar calendar, and they tell us the sun's 93 million miles away, and they haven't won it since 93, so that 54 years, that really stands out to me. That makes some sense right there.
Yeah, so like again, that was like really the only thing. It's fine, but I just want to see if there's anything else. And also, like years ago, the Rangers, New York Rangers, had a curse of 54 years before they won the Cup from 1940 to 1994. I don't know if there's any relation there, but it was a 54-year curse for the Rangers. I know because I live in New York, and
it was 54 years for the Rangers as well.
Yes, 1940 to 1994.
Who did Gretzky finish his career with? It was one of the New York teams.
It was the Rangers.
It was the Rangers as well. Aha.
The Rangers in '99.
Ah.
Yeah, his last team. Gretzky played the last 3 years of his career were with the Rangers from 1996 to '99.
So that could be another big clue then.
Yeah, and like a week or two ago, the Maple Leafs were a 11-1 to win the Stanley Cup, and now they're down to 7-1. It went from plus 11.
Well, there's that 7 number again. There's that 7 number.
So. Yeah, and
the last time they won it was 67.
67 was last time they.
And they beat the Canadians that year, and we had those two. We had the recent death of a Maple Leaf and a Canadian that were synced up with the Conference Championship and the Super Bowl day. On the Conference Championship, the Canadian died. Or no. Hold on, let me make sure I get that right. On the Conference Championship day, the Canadian... No. The Toronto Maple Leaf died on the day of the Conference Championship, and then a Montreal Canadian died the day of the Super Bowl. So,
what do you think? You think there's a pretty good shot with the Maple Leafs winning the Cup this year?
Well, that whole thing you just said with 54 really makes a ton of sense, especially since they haven't won it since 93. And, I mean, they are the front runners right now, so they're looking like the best team out of that Canadian 7 group. So, I mean, knowing as little as I know, if I was just going to take a blind shot at it, I think I would feel the best about that right now. But still good to do a little bit more homework, turn over a few more stones. But, yeah, that whole 54 thing's making some sense. So the New York Rangers didn't win the Stanley Cup for 54 years. Gretzky finishes his career with the Rangers, and now it's been 54 years since the Maple Leafs won. And I see they won it in 67. And I know what it is. It's hockey. Hockey, the word equals 67. So, Okay.
Yeah, I know. Can't say for sure, but that's something there,
Yeah, that's definitely something there. So yeah, those are really great. See, you know your hockey, so those were really great observations that make a lot of sense. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's the one other thing I wanted to mention. So you said that you didn't know the date that the Stanley Cup Finals start, because I think hockey is the only sport where they don't have set dates for the playoffs, because they wait to see as it plays out. Because let's say you have whatever, like the conference final, you have a 4-game sweep and a 4-game sweep. They're going to start right away. They're not going to wait, a week. Like, they don't have set dates for the start of, like, the Stanley Cup Final or the conference finals thing. They don't do it that way.
Hey, do you know, I say, that all makes sense. I got that. Do you know who Wayne Gretzky beat in his Stanley Cups?
Okay, so his first Stanley Cup, they beat the Islanders. Let's see.
Okay, he won. He only won 4, right? And he won them all with the Oilers.
He won 4 with the Oilers. And I know they beat the Islanders. Oh God, I have to look it up.
Here, I'll get it up on the screen. I just wanted to make sure it was just those 4. Okay, so.
Yeah, it was just those 4. Yeah, he never won. He won 4 with Edmonton. He went to the finals in '93 against Montreal. They lost to Montreal in '93 because he was playing with the LA Kings in '93.
I see that.
So he lost to the Montreal Canadiens in the '93 Stanley Cup Final.
So that's interesting, too. So the last time Canada won the Stanley Cup was over him as well.
Correct. Yep. Yeah, when the Canadians beat the Kings in '93, Gretzky was on in '93.
And Barry Melrose. I see that Barry Melrose was the coach of that team. Funny.
That's correct.
Okay.
And they beat Gretzky. They beat Toronto in the conference final that year in '93.
Okay.
in the Western
Oh,
Conference.
okay. So Oilers beat the Islanders the first time. They beat the Flyers
Yep.
the second time. They beat the Flyers again the third time, and then the Boston Bruins the fourth time. Okay. Let's say right now it makes some sense if Toronto wins it. Do you have an insight on anything going on who they might play?
Well, you know how the playoffs are set up this year because with the four divisions, like you said, they have this Group 7 Canadian division. So they're going to play, top four in each division play, and they have a 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3. So there will be a Canadian, and then they'll have the final four, so to speak. They'll have the final four teams. So it's going to be, one team from the Canadian division, one team from the East, one team from the West, and one team from whatever the other division is, Central, I guess. So if you look at, East, Central, and West, so you're going to have a Canadian team, which, right now is looking pretty good for Toronto. You'll have a team from the East, which who the hell knows? Because hockey's it's so unpredictable sometimes.
So the way they have the playoffs set up, is it even possible that two Canadian teams could face each other?
No, it's impossible.
It's impossible.
No,
so it cannot be another Canadian. So it can only be one Canadian team. Okay.
Right. Yeah, because the way the divisions are set up this year, and it's only for this year. You have, let me just look at it because I'm on NHL.com. Okay, so you have the North Division, which is all Canadian teams. You have the Central Division right now. Tampa's in first place with that. The East Division right now, the Washington Capitals are in first place, and the West Division, the Vegas Golden Knights are right now in first place. So, if it came out that way, then those would be like the final four teams, and then whoever they seeded versus whoever has the best record, 1 versus 4, 2 versus 3.
I see. Okay. Well, you had some great info, man. I appreciate the call. Great information.
No problem, Zach.
All right. Yeah.
Take care, man.
Yeah. You take care too. See you. Caller. Hello. You're on. Caller?
Hey, Zach. How you doing?
Hey, what's up?
I have some info. I think Washington can actually win this Stanley Cup. I've been looking at Washington for a little bit. They don't really have a Gretzky connection, but they have an overall Stanley Cup connection. So if you write out Washington Capitals, it's 211 and 102. Oh, actually, it's 104, not 102. So we're in the 104th NHL season, but because of the 04-05 lockout, it's actually the 103rd NHL season. That matters because
it's the 104th season and the 103rd Stanley Cup, right?
Right, it's the 104th season, the 103rd Stanley Cup, right? And 103 is the 27th time, and if you write out Capitals, it's 27. And then if you write out Washington Capitals, it's 104. This is the 47th season for the Washington Capitals, but their 46th overall season because of 04-05. And then, of course, DC's 47, and they just got their 46th president in Joe Biden. I think Washington has some good things as well because they just got a 56-year-old head coach, and I think he's one of the only 56-year-old head coaches in the NHL. The other one would be the Boston Bruins head coach, but he's not 56 yet. He's going to be 56 in May. But I think the 211 connection, especially having since 211 is the 47th prime, and since it's the 56-game schedule, and since Washington, D.C. obviously equals 56, if they won the Stanley Cup, they would become 2-1 in Stanley Cup Finals in the year 21, and obviously Jesuit equals 21, and just the 2-1 connection would be huge, and this would be their third trip to the Stanley Cup Finals, and if you write out 3, it's 56. Like Washington, D.C., like they're in a 56-game NHL season right now, like they have a 56-year-old head coach.
I think all of that makes a lot of sense. The 56 is so hot right now. And, yeah, I see the Washington Capitals 104, 104th season. So what do you think about a Capitals? I see Capitals have this 54 thing going, too, the other number we're talking about. What do you think about a Capitals-Toronto Maple Leafs Stanley Cup?
I would have to see because unless they change the NHL bracket this year, I think Toronto would have to go through Washington. But let me take a quick look here. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, I mean, if they change the NHL bracket to make it Washington versus Toronto, if they can put them on the other side of the bracket, I really like that connection because the 54-year curse could be broken for the Toronto Maple Leafs, as that guy mentioned. It's like how the Rangers got their 54-year curse broken. Yeah, that all sounds pretty good. If they can actually set that up, that's huge. I have my money on Washington this year. So if the Capitals win, I actually called it before the season began, which would be cool. But yeah, all that info is there for the taking, and that's all I got for you right now.
Hey, did you notice Capitals is 135 and their record's 13-5 right now?
Yeah, I just saw that right now, and that's pretty funny.
That's how they do it, man. And for people who want me to decode sports every day, again, you guys can do it. You could have saw that the Capitals could become 13-5. I mean, that's just what you do. It's just that's what I'd be on here doing and that's what we've done historically. We just go on and we say, oh, look how this will work out right here. So.
And then their losses, if you look at their losses with counting the overtime, is 139, like the assault weapons ban thing you were talking about, the 139 tonight.
Oh, yeah, because they got the 4 overtime losses, too. And then 139 is the 34th prime, and NHL's 34. Yeah.
Right. Oh, and NHL also equals 47.
Yeah.
So in their 47th season, they could do some stuff. So, yeah, we'll see.
Oh, that's a good one. It's the Capitals' 47th season. Yeah, you said that at the beginning. But, yeah, DC's 47. Yeah, NHL, I know you're right about that. Okay, but right now you see that there's a little problem with the way it looks like the playoffs are supposed to be. It looks like they'd have to play each other before the Stanley Cup Finals.
Yeah, unless they would change the bracket, I think Washington and Toronto would have to play each other.
Huh.
That's the only problem. That's the only issue I would see. But
okay,
we'll see who has the better numbers come playoff time. Because they're still half the season, so I still think they're going to do some more rituals and stuff. I do like that Peter Laviolette being 56 years old, though.
Yeah, I hear everything you're saying on that one. Okay, I got to do some more research. Great call. You have a good day.
Thank you.
See you, man. What's up, caller? Hello?
Hey, it's Bo. Let me just mute. Hey. Let me just mute this. Hey, can you hear me, Zach?
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, it's Bo. I'm just calling in to elaborate on the Wayne Gretzky stuff. So I will. Let me just get this stuff open. So one thing I wanted to highlight is thing that we're talking about the Leafs and stuff like that. One thing I forgot to mention in my decode previously was that the last time the Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup, it was an expansion year. And in that year, the NHL brought in 6 new teams. And of those 6 new teams, it was the Los Angeles Kings, Minnesota North Stars, Oakland Seals, Philadelphia Flyers, Pittsburgh Penguins, and the St. Louis Blues. Now notice, Gretzky played for the Kings. He played for the St. Louis Blues as well. And tonight, the Los Angeles Kings and the St. Louis Blues are playing one another. I thought I would mention that.
That is
and
interesting.
Also, right? And then here's the next caveat. So when the Leafs win the Stanley Cup this year, the league will have 31 teams next year, and the newest team will be the Seattle Kraken. You see, are you with me so far?
I'm following. I also see that the Kings could fall to 9-4 tonight with a loss, like Gretzky wore 99.
They're definitely gonna get smacked tonight. If you guys want some games tonight, go with the Blues. You know, they're an easy win. Go with the Wild. They're an easy win. But yeah, back to what else? Also today, with the Gretzky stuff, there's so many 72s. I don't know if you guys get this type of news in the States, but here in Canada, it's going nuts. So they're like sulking over Wayne Gretzky and all that stuff. One of the sport broadcasters for TSN also passed away today, and his name was Chris Schultz, and he also used to play football and stuff like that. But apparently he died from a heart attack. Now, if you write heart attack out in the Gematria calculator, it sums to 36 and 72. If you write Toronto out, it sums to 36 and 72. And if you write Toronto Maple Leafs, it sums to 72. Also, if you write football out, it sums to 29. And today has a 29 date numerology, and they knocked them off like that.
Yeah, I see that. Okay, I got his death up here. So.
And then, like, even with even when I called in, like, before, like, the Super Bowl, and I mentioned that the Leafs would win the Cup, I mentioned that, you know, they would ritually sacrifice George Armstrong, because when I was doing my research, he was the last Leafs captain to be on the team that won the Cup. So I was like, okay, if they're going to win the Cup, he's one of the last guys alive on the team. It makes sense for him to get knocked off. But I was thinking, you know, they will wait until a couple of days after they won the Cup to knock him off, right? Because then he would be 91 years old, Society of Jesus, all that stuff. But no, they waited until the Chiefs were playing to knock him off, because his nickname was the Chief, and he was the first Aboriginal player of descent to play in the NHL.
I see.
So you see how deep that's it?
I see. Just about the guy who died last night. He played for the Cowboys, and he died on 4-3, and Dallas Cowboys is 43. So I just want to note that too.
And that's like what you're saying. So they're going to be slowly making moves. And I think you might be onto something with the Cowboys being in the Super Bowl, right? So they're going to probably have more stuff leading up to that. And then also one thing I want to mention to my fellow Canucks and Canadians, especially the ones living in Toronto, seeing that we have a Stanley Cup coming to our city and a potential World Series, there's going to be a ritual event that they're going to try to bring to us, and we got to be on kind of our P's and Q's, because we don't want to be in that situation where these things happen. Because I was actually sitting on my balcony when the shooting happened on the Danforth, and that was the ritual leading up to the Raptors championship, and I saw all these black Suburbans and all that stuff, and they will have something leading up, you know, to these championships. So we got to definitely be in our P's and Q's in Toronto. That's for everyone listening out there.
By the way, this guy who also was drafted in 83 by the Cowboys, so he died 38 years after being drafted in 83. I mean, there's that. We're going to see this 83-38 pattern all year, I guarantee it. So.
Yeah. Also, I have some more stuff that if you guys want, it connects back with let me see it here. Remember the stuff I spoke about with like Tim Hortons, how they ritually sacrificed their own players on the team? With, like, you know, how Tim Hortons, they killed him in a car crash, how Bill Barolko, they killed him in like a fishing trip, and he didn't win a cup until his body was found, and all of that stuff. I did the decode on Free to Find Truth. Leading up to there's going to be more ritual sacrifices that connect to the team that's going to, you know, lead up to the championship. It's not going to stop with just Walter Gretzky and you know, George Armstrong. There's going to be more bodies piling up until this championship. So.
Don't forget Ralph Backstrom, yeah, and that's the way it always goes. Yeah, you're right about that. So.
Oh yeah. Also, you guys mentioned we're looking for an opponent for who the Leafs can potentially play in the Stanley Cup. So one thing I was looking at is first of all, who is the Leafs number one, the player with the most points and most goals in Leafs history? It's Matt Sundin. And from what I've been researching is the Quebec Nordiques at the time, I believe they drafted Matt Sundin, and they traded him to Toronto, I believe, or he found his way to Toronto. But anyway, over time, the Quebec Nordiques, they left Quebec and they set up shop in Colorado. And this year, it's the 25th anniversary of the Colorado Avalanche. And as well, when I mentioned about the retro reverse jerseys, how every team is doing like a nod to history and stuff, the Colorado Avalanche have the Quebec Nordiques logo on their retro reverse jerseys that they wore this year, right? So I think it may be actually Colorado and Toronto that face off in the Stanley Cup. Also, a couple weeks ago, they had the Lake Tahoe event. It was like a big marquee event for the NHL where they play out in Lake Tahoe. And my Patreon members and people on Free to Find Truth, where I put out the decode, we made some good money, because if you wrote the resort where they were playing, it actually summed to the exact same thing as Colorado Avalanche in 2 out of the 4 ciphers. So that was just easy money that day. And then the next day, you know. So if you guys just stay up to date on this information, you guys could be making money and seeing how rigged the system is. It's unbelievable, man.
Indeed.
And some great decoders. I want to shout out Nat Gnosis. Shout out to The Illusion. Shout out to Victor. Shout out to all those decoders out there. I see you guys. You guys are doing great work.
All right. Appreciate the call and observations.
All right. Peace out, guys.
All right. See you, man. See, we're building the Gematria Sports Decoding family tree here. All right, let's go out to Colorado. What's up, Colorado?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going all right. How are you?
Good. Hey, I just have a quick thing on this Chris Schultz thing. If you look, he was actually born on February 16th. So he died on March 4th, which is 16 days from his 61st birthday.
Right.
Right? So you get the 16 mirroring the 61. If you look when he played for the Argonauts, I just saw you mention hockey 67. He wore number 67 for the Argonauts.
Huh.
What's really weird, too, is that there seems to be a bunch of 66 and like 166, 616 going on. And if you look from the date of the Masters to the date of Phil Mickelson's birthday, it's 66 days from his 616 birthday. And like when I say a lot of this stuff, if you look, that accident that just happened in California, it borders the county, it borders San Diego County where Phil Mickelson was born. And if you look at on that day, it said that the call came in at 6:16. There was 25 people in an SUV, 13 were injured. That equals 38, and then Masters is 38, Phil equals 38. And that happened 38 days from the Masters. So there's weird how like this 6-6, and I think this Chris Schultz guy, I think if you type in his name, it equals 166 too. So there's that 16 and 6. I mean, they've really been pushing that. And obviously, man, if Phil won the Masters with what just happened with Tiger, there was a bunch of stuff that day too that tied the Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods like 45, 44. Phil Mickelson has 44 wins. He would get his 45th. The Masters starts on 4-5. Just a bunch of stuff with Phil Mickelson that's in the 616 date. And that's how I even caught the Chris Schultz thing, because his name equals 166. So, and they're also funny. They're using Schultzy. They're calling him Schultzy. Everybody's calling him Schultzy, which equals 35, and today's obviously 35.
Yeah.
This is crazy stuff, man. I you've turned me on to this stuff over the pandemic. I mean, it's unbelievable. It takes a I don't know, you got to be a mute to not see this stuff. It's unbelievable.
And it's just like, just over the weekend, I said, just watch for this pattern at 83 and people dying 38 years later in 2021, and there's already a handful more examples just from saying it just a few days ago. I noticed it in the award show. I was like, yeah, I should have thought of that earlier. I bet we're going to see a lot of that this year, and I guarantee you by the end of the year we'll have at least 100 examples. So
it's just, and like even that thing with there's your 38 with the Masters. If you look, there was that huge accident. It happened in Imperial County. Imperial County literally borders San Diego County. That's where Phil Mickelson's from. The Masters equals 38. I believe it's Phil or Mickelson equals 38. That accident happened 38 days from the Masters, and they're pushing the call came in. You can read both articles. It'll either say one of the two. It'll say it happened just before 6:15, or you can read articles that say the call came in at 6:16. Well, what's 6:16? That's Phil Mickelson's birthday.
Huh. Okay, yeah, we'll have to look at that because you're right. We just got the Tiger Woods car accident, now another big car accident.
Right.
Yeah, so, something going on there.
It's just really, again, man, I appreciate you turning me on to this stuff. I just recently got your book and everything. People can draw their own conclusions and they can get mad at you or whatever, but, this stuff on the surface, it's undeniable. It's undeniable. People, whatever you want to come up with as to why, and again, I hear people getting on you all the time. Whatever, man. Come up with your own conclusion as to why, but you can't deny that this pattern stuff is blatant as it comes.
Indeed.
So I
Andy.
appreciate it. Thank you very much, man.
All right, thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Yeah. And again, for those of you who want to get up on this knowledge and really understand it, I highly suggest you read my book. You can get it, the ebook for free. Download it off my Patreon. You can buy the print version. Places besides Amazon sell it, but Amazon's got a lot of reviews because people buy everything on Amazon. But hold on here. Having trouble with the phone. Caller?
Hey, Zach.
Hey, what's up?
So, yeah, I just have some observations. I was looking at this last night when it happened. Let me just go through, because this is from the Discord. I'm just looking at my messages that I wrote up. So, on the day that Wayne Gretzky turned 60, it was this year. It was January 26th, and Boston beat the Penguins 3-2. And Boston and Gretzky have the overlapping gematria in the last two cycles, I think. 77 and 32. So Boston's 77 and 32, and Gretzky's 77 and 32. And Boston won 3-2 against the Penguins on Gretzky's birthday. And they even the Penguins botched a 3-0. Like, if you go and watch it, it's ridiculous. They botched a 3-0. And so, yeah, Boston is sitting at 6 Stanley Cups right now. So I'm thinking that maybe they could go because it's of the 7th thing, right? They could get their 7th cup. And then don't the New England Patriots, aren't they, like, Boston's in New England, right?
Yeah, they are.
So I'm thinking maybe Boston might be. So the standings are changing like every day. Like, they're really tight right now. There's no like clear leader in each division. And Boston's really good too. And they have this guy named Pasternak, and he got a hat trick. And at the end of the hat trick, it was an outdoor game. At the end of the hat trick, the NHL had to say, like, he was out there, and he was like partying. And he's like, yeah, we were listening to Barbie Girl. And I typed in Barbie Girl. Barbie Girl equals 56.
Huh, okay.
And the Pierce cipher.
Uh-huh.
So I'm thinking Boston. And then another thing about this death is that it comes 25 days after that Backstrom death, and death equals 25, right?
I just got to point out real quick, the Kings became 3-2-2 on Wayne Gretzky's birthday, like Skull and Bones 3-2-2, because then his dad died on 4/3, and Yale's 43, where Skull and Bones is, and again they always have, and then the Wild fell to 4-3 in that game. They're playing the Minnesota Wild, so I just went back and looked at Wayne Gretzky's birthday and what the Kings did. But okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, also Chicago Blackhawks, or I think Blackhawks or Chicago Blackhawks equals 3-2-2. And on
It does.
February 22nd, they won.
Huh. Okay.
Or sorry, not.
Both of Wayne
the
Gretzky's
opposite
team.
of 3-2-2.
Wayne Gretzky played for the Blues and the Kings. I got to go over all his teams. I see the Blues and Kings both won on his birthday. Okay.
And the Oilers. So he also played for the Oilers.
Oh, they actually lost that day.
The
They actually
Oilers-
lost. The Oilers lost that day. 2 American teams won. Canadian team lost.
Yeah, that Backstrom death, like the death of Wayne Gretzky's father. So I think death equals 25, right?
Death does equal 25, yeah.
So that Backstrom death was 25 days ago. So, and then on Twitter, if you go to Gretzky's Twitter, it's all about these people that have been dying around him. It's no other tweets like recently except for people who've been dying around him. And Gretzky still works with the Edmonton Oilers. And someone had called in during the Daytona 500. I think it was Ben, and he connected the Oilers to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think through 178, but I don't remember the reason why. Does that ring a bell?
So, say it one more time. I was just pulling up Wayne Gretzky's Twitter while you were talking.
Yeah, I think Ben called in during the Daytona 500 stream, and he connected Edmonton Oilers to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers through the number 178. I can't figure out the reason why.
Oh,
With the
okay.
Southern
So
Valley.
again, that where they won the Stanley Cup at, the arena equaled 178. Because one of the big patterns we were talking about all year was how the Tampa Bay Rays beat the Boston Red Sox 17-8, 178 days before the Super Bowl, and then the Lightning won the Stanley Cup in a building with 178 Gematria.
Yeah, so the Edmonton Oilers equal 178, and then their stadium is 56. It equals 56 Rogers Place. And the best player in the league right now is the Edmonton Oiler. His last name's Connor. His name's Connor McDavid. His last name is McDavid, and McDavid equals 56 too. And then Gretzky still works with the Edmonton Oilers in the entertainment section. So I think that the Oilers have a chance too. So I think that Toronto, like that one guy who's been calling and has been saying, or Boston, because they have 6 cups and they could get the 7th. And Brady was like from Boston, and Gretzky and Boston have overlapping gematria. Or I think if Gretzky's still involved with the Oilers, that the Oilers could win. And Edmonton is like a big oil place, and they just canceled that Keystone XL pipeline. So like everyone's like in this area is like really upset, right? And we're all like locked down. So it would be a big thing like for Edmonton, boost like the economy and the morale here. So I think they could do it. But yeah, that's my thoughts.
All right, interesting observations. And yeah, I see that his last 3 posts are all deaths. He doesn't post that often. His dad, Jimmy Nielsen, and Angelo Bumbacco. His last 3 posts, all deaths. Appreciate it, man. You have a good night, or a good day. See you, man. What's up, caller?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on.
What's up, bro?
What's up, man?
Nothing much, man. I'm just trying to get in a better place when you hear me. I was out walking and shit when I called.
Yeah, it's
anyway,
noisy.
though, man, I don't know much about hockey, but I just wanted to share this little story I got one time. So, a girl I was dating, her dad, he's all into hockey. Guy that he's friends with, made it to the NHL. His name is Peter Lappin. And he's got a son that plays in the NHL right now. His name's, I think, Nick Lappin. And so we're going to the United Center. They're playing the Blackhawks. And so we're going to go watch him play. They were even letting him start and shit, right? And so this guy, Peter, he's like this fucking depressed-ass dude and shit, you know? And he's an alcoholic, and he's divorced, and he's like here at this fucking place with this like slut wife, you know? It's like all of these guys in the NHL or NBA or anything, you know, when they get pushed out, they all like turn to drugs and alcohol and shit. It's like, what the fuck happened, you know? So anyway, I'm like thinking this guy's going to be ecstatic about his son fucking playing the game. And he said something to me that I will not forget. He said, yeah, your game, you know, he's good. Your game is good enough to get you there, but you got to be able to play their game at the next level. And that just stuck with me so hard because I can't think of how many times I've heard on TV, you know, when they're saying these dumbass announcers. I remember even on the movie Any Given Sunday, they're like, dude, this game's no different from when you were playing it when you were a kid in the park, and, you know, you just got to go back to the same thing, just playing like you're a kid in the park. And I'm like, that's so fucking dumb because you got to be able to play their game at the next level. Doesn't matter how good you are. And the best ones are obviously like the fucking Tom Brady's who are really willing to play their game, which is what are you willing to sacrifice? You can't go higher than this unless you're willing to sacrifice. That's my little NHL story, but I wanted to call in to say one more thing if I could.
Go ahead.
So what the fuck is going on with all of this fucking chicken that they're pushing on us, bro? And I'm only saying that because I just like recently lost like 100 pounds, man. Just stopped eating fast food, started getting out, making sure I'm doing something active every day. And when you stop going to these fast food restaurants, you start like noticing what they're pushing on people. You know, because every time I drive past the McDonald's, that fucking shit stinks so bad. I'm like, ugh, God, I can never go back to that crap, you know? But
Sure.
Everything is chicken, chicken, chicken now. They're even calling it the chicken wars.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is
I think
what
it
is
has
going
something
on
to.
with
I think it has something to do with the new breeder chickens, the new genetically modified chickens, because they say that these chickens that you're eating in the fast food, they go from chick to on your plate in about 6 weeks' time. They just got these new chickens that get so plump so fast. So I just think it's something about how quick and inexpensive it is to produce. So I think it's big money for them. So, I mean, it could be something more than that, too. It could be eating that chicken and how fast it grows to be that big that does something to us as well. But, yeah, you're right. I mean, there's chicken everywhere, so.
Yeah, man. I mean, I was driving past fucking Taco Bell last night. They're advertising fucking chicken on the, like, what? This is fucking Taco Bell. It's called Taco Bell. And it's chicken shit. It's like, what the fuck are they doing with this chicken? That makes sense, though. The only other thing I was thinking is, you know, due to this COVID shit, you know, they've been saying that they've been shutting down a lot of meat factories and shit. And I'm like, man, are they fucking secretly putting maybe these diseases inside of the fucking chicken and they're taking cows away, and so you don't have a choice, you're going to have to fucking eat chicken? Which would make a lot of sense, because even people who don't like to eat meat, sometimes they'll eat eggs and they'll eat chicken or they'll eat fish. You know, so I'm like, fuck, are they pushing this shit in the chicken, man? I mean, I'm not personally worried about it because if you choose to go to a fast food restaurant, you're choosing to eat poison, period. So if you haven't figured that out by now, you're fucked anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to hear that and get that out there in the truth community, and maybe someone will come up with the answer. Maybe somebody can dig, you know, and find out what the fuck is going on with the chicken.
Yeah, it's a good question. I appreciate it, man. You have a good day.
Yeah, you too, bro.
Right. Yeah, take care. Yeah, it's true. There is all this stuff about chicken everywhere. And here, let me call Cade back. Cade came out and pounded pavement. Cade was the first man to come out and pound pavement in Louisiana.
Hello?
What's up, Cade?
Hello?
It's me, Cade. It's Zach. You've been calling in. What's up?
Hey. Yeah. I had a couple of things. Did you see I'm going to butcher this last name, and I'm driving across the state right now, so forgive me, but is it Israel
Yeah, the UFC fighter. The guy who they used for the 9/11 joke the other year, yeah.
Right, and his last fight, it was last year in March, whatever. It's 59 date neurology, just like his fight tomorrow. He weighed in today at 201 pounds. And then he also, after weighing in, proceeded to hold a pizza and make a stereotypical Italian chef hand gesture. You know what I'm talking about? Sure. And holding the pizza. Pizza equals 21. He's going for his 21st win. That's about all I've had on it for now. The stuff I looked up, I just called in immediately since I saw you were streaming. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit more digging because that's just like surface level stuff that they're throwing out at you. There's got to be a little bit more to it, you know. And you know something else is gonna happen to go along with it. So
yeah, that sounds like a nice little Jesuit ritual there, and the pizza for the 21st win. I hear everything you're saying. That makes sense. So Yep.
Well, I just wanted to call in. I'm watching the show, and I'll be looking forward to see if you do any UFC stuff as well.
All right.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Again, I know it's UFC 259, you guys, and 259 is a big number with the Black Lives Matter rituals. So I would look at what's going on in the fights with the black fighters in UFC 259. I think they either all win together or they all lose together, probably. But I would do your homework on any fight involving a black man in UFC 259 because this is one of their big rituals here. So I haven't decoded any UFC 259, but that's just the one thing that I am aware of. Like if somebody could become 10-6 in a fight with a black fighter, I mean, that'd be a done deal. Black's 106 as well. I Can't Breathe 106. What's up, caller?
What's up, Zach? It's Marco, man.
Hey, what's up, Marco?
Ain't too much, brother. Calling about the Wayne Gretzky thing. Just wanted to lay on you. I was talking to the girl, Amy Jones, in the chat, and we were just going through a couple articles, but we realized that, I don't know if you realized, Wayne Gretzky is Catholic himself. Did you realize that?
Well, it doesn't surprise me, so that makes sense.
Yeah, he was, he must have had a ritual early on in the year because he just lost his, the guy who was the priest at his wedding. He died earlier this year. So he's already sacrificed somebody this year. The guy's name was Mike McCaffrey, and his name sums to 71, like Catholic. They called the wedding a royal wedding. Royal equals 71. Mike McCaffrey also equals 64, and royal also equals 64 as well. If you write out the words royal wedding, that equals 137. Of course, the 33rd prime,
65, 187, also 61. We know those Jesuit numbers. Something else I found interesting, they called him the Great One. That equals 55 and 53. 53, I guess, to go along with this transgender agenda that they've been pumping lately. What else I have here?
They said he died
was
possibly
married in
due to
88.
they said he died possibly due to COVID-19. Did you say that?
I did not say that, but yes, it's in the article that I read. I should have said that. Yeah.
And they mentioned how he started his Catholic preschooling in 54. There's that 54 number again.
Exactly. Also, they were married in 1988. Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't that 33 years ago?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, something going on with that. Oh, and something that I found interesting. This is not a normal decode, but it's just something small. You know, we misspell his name a lot. A lot of people don't realize that it's a Z inside of his name and not an S. But when you spell it with the S instead, it's funny that it comes out to 56.
Huh.
So
Okay.
that was interesting.
Okay.
And his full name is Wayne Douglas Gretzky. I'm not sure if you've already said that or not. Pardon me if I'm repeating anything, but that equals 88, which of course is that Trump number, and we know about the 88. So, but yeah, that's all I got, man. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I found it funny that the priest that did his wedding 33 years ago died in January this year. So
what's funny is he died on January 12th, and just like this article I put up, they also posted at 10:21 p.m., and that date can be written 12/1, like 121. And again, blood sacrifice is 121, so perfect day for him to die. And,
oh, wow. I missed that one. Yeah, that's what's up.
And then again, the whole Jesuit thing. The Jesuits operate in 112 countries. It could be 112 as well, that date, so.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Zach, I'm going to hold you, bro. Good talking to you. I ain't talked to you in a while, and yeah, I ain't going to hold you. Awesome show, man.
All right, have a good one. Thanks, Marco. Great call.
You too, bro.
See you, man. What's up, caller?
What's up, caller? Hey, finally, get in.
You did it.
Hold
on. I got to interrupt too. This priest of his went to Fordham as well, and Fordham's the 88 university. He was just talking about how he married him in 88. I just did the video like a few weeks ago on Fordham in 88. And Fordham's the Jesuit school in New York. So here's just another Jesuit thing with this guy who died on 1/1/12. Anyway, go ahead, caller.
So I just want to talk about baseball and Toronto Blue Jays.
That's tomorrow's topic on Patreon. But you know what? Since you already called in, you can break us in early. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. So they were established in 1977, the Toronto Blue Jays. They have 6 East Division titles right now and 2 AL pennants. Could go to 7 and 3 like Brady this year. And I want to tie it into Roy Halladay, who passed away 3 years ago on November 7th, which is 11/7.
Yeah.
The 117th World Series. He passed away in an airplane near Florida. His fucking sorry if I'm swearing. His nickname was Doc Holliday, which is 54 forwards and backwards.
And he died on the day leaving 54 days left in the year, and baseball's 54 and MLB's 54, yeah.
And then it even goes further to 1997 when NASA launched Cassini, which was a little spacecraft they launched to Saturn, which took 7 years. So on the day they launched, it was the day leaving 77 days left in the year.
Okay.
And they killed it. They burned it up in Saturn's atmosphere just shy of 20 years later, 54 days before Roy Halladay died.
I remember this. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Then Tiger Woods he crashed on the 54th day of the year. What I saw was 7:15 a.m. and on July 15th on the PGA Tour, it's in Toronto at St. George's Clubhouse. And just tying into like Queen Elizabeth, she visited. Her last visit to Canada was in 2010. She visited for a total of 22 times, and coincidentally enough, she visited Toronto 7 times.
Huh.
So I think there's something going on with Toronto this year for sure.
Yeah, it's a big Jesuit stronghold city, so might even want to go back and look at that shooting in Toronto on Tisha B'Av, July 2018. I remember the same day that happened was the same day that ESPN put out their video about the curse of Cleveland in 22, and they predicted LeBron would return to Cleveland in his 22nd season and play with his son. So, yeah.
I'll take a look into that.
Yeah,
I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, good observations, man. Appreciate it.
Taking my call.
Yeah, see you.
Ciao.
Yeah, that Roy Halladay death, very, very big ritual. So, I was finishing up my first book at the time that happened. Okay. Yeah, and if you guys have not read the books and you want them in ebook form, you can also get them at my website, GematriaEffectNews. On the cell phone, it's the drop-down menu with the 3 little red bars. Just go to the ebooks tab on your computer, and you can download both of them there. What's up, caller?
Yeah, Zach. I'm just trying to let you know that the Maple Leafs are in their 104th season, and they're going for their 14th cup this year.
14 and 104.
Yeah, we know they're in the 104th season, and then you have the 103 Stanley Cup. Well, they're the only team with 13 Stanley Cups.
Yeah.
And you also have that 14 in Gematria. It equals 104. I think it's the English ordinal.
Yeah.
And then the thing that was interesting with it was that I was looking into Walter Gretzky, the dad, and he was a regular at the Maple Leafs game, at the Maple Leafs home game.
Oh, really?
From there, I went into, because I was like, okay, I know that the callers are going to fall for the Edmonton Oilers nonsense. And I'm like, they don't have, if you look at the Stanley Cups, it actually makes less sense for them to make it. But then from there, I had remembered that someone had told me last year that Gretzky and Drake had done an OVO collab. And so I went and looked at the date on when he started sponsoring, because that was a big deal. And then someone was bringing it up yesterday because Drake just dropped a couple songs yesterday. And the date on it was November 9th or 9/11 when it happened. And it was in Toronto. And so I'm just looking at all these Toronto connections because I'm like, okay, all this stuff's happening. And you have the Tisha B'Av thing that was 3 years ago. You have Canada talking about they're in the third wave. We know 3 equals 56, and then the whole 56 coronavirus thing. And that Toronto's also tied to Tampa this year. Even though, I know there's a Tampa Bay team. We know the Brady thing is there too, because this is the team this is the cities that are now tied together. And I'm just looking at it and I'm like, I think because some of the callers are like hockey fans, you see they're bringing their knowledge and they're bringing in their insight. Me, I'm not one. I'm just looking at the numbers, and it makes total sense for the Maple Leafs to get in there.
That whole 54 thing, if you were at the beginning, that whole 54 thing is really hard to deny, because that's the number that goes with 93.
Yeah,
so.
It was covered. That's why I didn't even touch it yet.
Yeah.
Because you have that, then you have the Toronto Maple Leafs equals 72, Jesuit Order is 72. You have a bunch of things there too, and it's just one of those things where I knew once you put me on, because I remember you had said it even in the you had actually said in the football season that you think a Canada team is supposed to win, and that's when I started looking into that, and I'm like, the Maple Leafs was the clear one from that. Once I started seeing how this season, some of the sports was shaking out. And, they're doing a lot with Toronto. So, like that other caller said, there's a big psyop coming their way, I think, unfortunately. But, they it looks real good for the Maple Leafs.
I got to throw something wild out there. Okay, so I know what day Game 7 of the Stanley Cup is scheduled to, because that's the only information that's out. They don't have the start date, but they say the latest it could end is July 15th. From that day, July 15th, to the start of the World Series, which is the 117th World Series, and Toronto's 117, it's 103 days later, or a span of 104, and again, it's the 103rd Stanley Cup or the 104th NHL season, and we know the way they like to link up sports, so that's very interesting.
Yeah, and think about it, 103, so the team that is on 13 can go to 14, like 103 to 104. That's the reason why that conundrum exists. And for me, it's just, that to me is just clear. The other thing I did like was the caller bringing up the whole the Avalanche thing, because then when you showed us the Walter 83, I'm like, okay, yeah, Colorado makes sense, because they're one of the things that people talk about. Colorado and Vegas is possibly the opponent, and I think that Colorado one was good, because I remember you told us about the Colorado 83 thing, and then they also have a 43 too.
That one guy did that one player who did die. Let me make sure I get which one right. I think it was yeah, it was the man who died the day of the Super Bowl. He did die in Colorado. Yeah. Ralph Backstrom, dead at 83. Colorado 83, football 83. He died the day of the Super Bowl. So.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that in there just because that 103, 104, I know throws people off, but I'm telling you, it's Maple Leafs, and for me, I'm not that big. I'm not really a hockey fan, so for me, I don't need the emotion tied to it. I'm telling you. If people, you do the research into it, it looks good.
And I'll just say this too. I won't be surprised if we see a lot of championships go to Game 7 this year just because of the whole 7 theme and Saturn with the 7 rings and all that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because you had me initially on that you thought the I'm not going to say the pick, but you know the finals might end in 5 or something like that. And then the more I'm like, man, these fools might make it 7.
Yeah,
it looks like we're going to get a bunch of Game 7s this year.
It could be, yeah, it could be a year of 7s, that's for sure. So
yeah, but I just wanted to put you on that just further. I know you'll dig into it more, but yeah, it's looking like Toronto's about to have a hell of a year.
All right, very interesting. All right, appreciate it, man. See you. Okay. You know what, you guys? I'm going to leave it right there. If you guys want to talk more about this stuff, tomorrow on Patreon, we'll be doing the live stream. And, again, tomorrow the big focus is going to be baseball futures. And if you guys aren't signed up on the Patreon, we've had the future out for the NBA Finals since before the season began. It's looking better than the day we put it out. You know, we've had the future out for March Madness for a while right now. That's looking good. We've had... what other futures have we got out there right now? Well, we got a future out for next year's Super Bowl, and I'm feeling pretty good about that, especially if something's about to happen. And we'll keep talking about futures. And again, I'm writing a book right now. And by the way, I just bought another book. This one was only $6 because it's small. I think I'm going to read this later. Part of this book. I think I'm going to read it on the new GematriaEffectNews channel. By the way, if you guys haven't signed up for my new channel, could you guys do that? Because, again, my main channel is about to get deleted, so I just started GematriaEffectNews 21 because GematriaEffectNews is about to get flushed down the toilet. And I don't understand. Okay, this is what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. So I just put up this video about the last broadcast on this channel because it's about to get deleted, and I'm not going to keep putting videos up here if they're just going to delete it. It says it has 36,000 and some views. How come my channel has only gone up 1,000 subscribers? It doesn't make any sense to me. How's the channel only gone up 1,000 subscribers after 36,000 views? It just doesn't make any sense. These stats got to be so fake, man. There's no way only 1,000 more people came over here and subscribed to this channel. But can we get up to 10K? Because I swear to God, until you get to 10K, your views just suck. So if you guys can come over here and subscribe to GematriaEffectNews 21. The other channel I'll be posting on is this. Voices of Humanity with Zachary K. Hubbard. You know, been using all these channels as backup channels while the main channel's been suspended. But that is where I'll be posting. So anyhow, we'll leave it there for now. Live stream tomorrow on Patreon. That's Saturday. And I'm not setting the time in stone, but it'll either be at about noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, or at the latest it'll be about 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. It's just something I might have to do tomorrow. So anyway, it will be tomorrow. If you can't be there live, you can always watch the video anytime after. It's not like they just vanish. And that's the thing. If you sign up for my Patreon, you can just keep scrolling back. I mean, there's like 1,000 videos on there to watch. You can watch all the years of decoding sports. You can see the good days. You can see the bad days. You can learn from studying. So anyway, great calls today. I think you guys did a good job. And yeah, I'll probably do a post on this guy here in a moment on GematriaEffectNews and keep up with the latest headlines. So appreciate all of you. Hope to see you on Patreon tomorrow. And until next time, Truth Seeker.